Hello, this is Dr. Mears, and today we are going to be learning about radians. Radians is a unit of measure for angles that is based on the radius of a circle. So imagine taking the length of the radius and wrapping it around the circle. The angle that is formed at the center of the circle by this arc is equal to 1 radian. What is that? What do I mean by that? Okay, so I have this little kind of elastic here. So if I measured out this radius right here, the length of this radius is going to be equal to the length around the circle. Isn't that neat? And the angle that is formed right here is called 1 radian. All right, so let's see what radians are really worth. Let's do some investigation. First, let's look at the entire circumference of the circle. So that's all the way around, all the way. So we know that the entire circumference, so if I had a string and I wrapped it all the way around this whole entire circle, all the way, basically you get the gist. My elastic's not working out. So all the way around, and it closes. What is the angle measurement? Okay, and you're going to say 360 degrees, right? If we go all the way around a circle. Perfect. All right. Now, how many pi radians is that? Well, 360 degrees is 2 pi radians. Well, what's that in decimal? That means it's 6.28 radians in decimal radians. So instead of saying degrees, we're going to start to represent in pies or in decimal radians. So 360 degrees is 2 pi, which if you just multiply 2 times 3.14, we get 6.28. Okay, let's go halfway. So semicircle, halfway, 180 degrees, kind of like you just made a turn. Okay, halfway is just pi. What is that in radians? We know that's 3.14 radians. Okay, let's keep going. Let's go a quarter of the way. All right, we know that being 90 degrees. Okay, so we're splitting it in half. So it's going to be pi divided by 2. We're splitting it in half. If we do 3.14 divided by 2, we get 1.57 radians. Yay. Okay, so this answer is just this, divided out in the calculator. All right, let's keep going. Let's say that we made a 60-degree angle. And remember, it's this angle in here. So at 90 degrees, we were here. 90 degrees. So 90 degrees, this whole thing, is pi over 2, or 1.57 radians. So instead of saying 90 degrees, we can say pi over 2, or 1.57 radians. Same thing. All right, how about 60 degrees? All right, so now we're at 60 degrees. That's going to be pi over 3, which equals 1.047 radians. Let's keep going. Let's do the ones that we know. 45 degrees. It's actually splitting this in half. So it's going to be pi over 4, because we would have to do another half, which is going to equal 0.785 radians. And again, I'll move my paper down. All I am doing is doing 3.14 divided by 4. 0.785. That's it. That's the math that I'm doing. I'm sorry, my paper was moved down too much. And how about 30 degrees? Okay. 30 degrees is this one cut in half. So it's pi over, what's 3 times 2? You're right, 6. So it's 0.052 radians. Okay. Well, I'm curious about this 1 radian, right? We don't have just one. So we had 1 radian. So what does that look like? Okay, so 1 radian is really taking 180 and dividing it by pi. And we do that, we have to multiply the radian, how many ever we have, times 180 divided by pi. And if you think about it, 180 is pi. So pretty curious, isn't it? So if we do that, if we divide 180 and we multiply by 1 radian, we're going to get back to 57.3 degrees. So pi divided by, we would do 1 times 180 divided by pi. So 180 divided by 3.14 is going to be 57.3. I just do 3 significant figures. And this, we're going to be starting to talk about this, transferring radians to degrees, transferring degrees to radians. So that's what we're going to learn next. But now you know, which is pretty neat, that 90 degrees, instead of saying degrees, we can say pi over 2 radians or 1.57 radians. So this is another unit of measurement. Like we have centimeters and inches. We have degrees, we have radians. Okay, let's learn how to convert between degrees and radians. Here is the key. Degrees to radians. We have to multiply the degree by pi over 180. Radians to degrees, multiply the radian by 180 over pi. Okay, so first, let's convert 20 degrees to radians. All right, so where are we going? We're going from degrees to radians. So we have to multiply the degree, 20 times pi over 180. I'm not going to use a calculator for this because we're going to start getting into non-calculator sections and you might be having to reduce this. So in multiplying this is really over 1. So 20 times pi is 20 pi over 180. Now we have to reduce these numbers. When we reduce, we're going to be able to get pi, or 1 pi over 9. 2 over 18 is just 1 over 9, 1/9. You could put 1 here. However, it is custom to not write the 1. The 1 in front does like to disappear. So this is going to be called your exact answer. It's in pi radians. That's what we say, pi radians. It's not in decimal. And you would probably see this like on a no calculator part. You would have to reduce that. Okay. So let's say using a calculator. So if you get something such as 56.5 degrees to radians, you're going to be able to use a calculator here. So we're going to do 56.5 times pi over 180 because we're going from degrees to radians. And to do that, all I would do is put 56.5, and then I would open my parentheses. I do use my pi button, which is right up here below the clear. That's second pi, and then divided by 180, close. And I'm going to go 3 significant figures, so 0.986, 0.986, and then I'm going to put radians. And there we go. Okay. Let's convert 4 pi over 3 to degrees. So this is radians. So we're doing radians to degrees. So we have to multiply by the reciprocal. I forgot my little degree sign here. By the reciprocal, so 180 over pi. So 4 pi over 3 times 180 over pi. Again, I'm going to do this by not using a calculator. I am just going to be reducing. So what's brilliant here is that the pi is crossed out. It's great. So all I have left is 4 times 180 over 3. Remember, that's 1, so 3 times 1 is 3. And so if I multiply that out, I'm going to get 240 degrees. Again, it's an exact answer. Don't forget your degree sign. Like I forgot my degree sign up here. Don't forget your degree sign. Okay, and express 1.55 radians in degrees, correct to 3 significant figures. So this little mark up here, that means radians. You might see that in some IB books. So if they don't say the word radians, then this is what it's going to be. Correct to 3 significant figures, that again means you're going to be able to use a calculator, especially because we have decimals. So we're going from radians to degrees, so I'm back 180 over pi. So 1.55 times 180 over pi equals So let's go here. So I would just put that in. And I get 80.8, 88.8, and I'm going to write radians. So there we go. That's where we have it. I like using the pi symbol on this. It does get more of an exact answer towards, there's the bell. So yeah, that's it. And the bell tells me I'm done. So this has been Dr. Mears and an introduction to radians and conversion from degrees to radians and radians to degree. Hope it helps.